like write lyrics together, and so they taught me about it, and we used to kind of like have little battles and muck about with lyrics in the classroom. And the deal, actually one day the deal was, there were 3 lads, and if they didn't get excluded for a term, I'd go and enter a rap battle thing in town, and that was the deal. So like they kind of, they were good, they kept the nose clean, so I went and had my first rap battle.
Pretty cool. Have you got a favourite rapper / poet?
Yeah, I have actually. I've got a couple. Do you know what, at the moment, there's a guy called Tim Clare, he's my favourite poet. He's a performance poet and he's really funny. I think he's incredible. Benjamin Zephaniah as well was someone that really got me interested. And Roald Dahl, actually. Roald Dahl's poetry I thought was really good. As a rapper, do you know what, it's probably massively inappropriate. There's a guy called Little Dicky at the moment in America, but he's fantastic. He's really funny. He's kind of a white Jewish hip-hop MC that's really, really funny. And I quite like, I've been listening to his stuff like the last kind of 2 days solidly. It's really good.
Yeah, that's all my questions.
Oh, cool.
Who's the best rapper you've ever battled?
The toughest person I've battled is a guy called Definition. I don't know if you saw that one. Yeah. I was appalling in that battle. I tried not to use the letter I for the whole battle. I thought it would be kind of funny to see if you could still... I'm quite into this group called the Oulipo. There's like they're like a secret order of writers that like no British person's ever been allowed to join, and you only get invited if you do something like insane. Like a guy wrote a whole novel called A Void, which had no letter E, 600 pages long, and he wasn't even allowed in for that. He was allowed in because he translated it into Spanish, and E is the most used vowel in the English language, but the most used vowel in Spanish is I, so he retranslated the whole book without the letter I in Spanish, and it was that got him in. Like, they only have... If you're a member of the group, your soul is owned by the group. They're really crazy. They're like total clandestine, crazy word people. And so I thought like maybe I could try and do like crazy things with words and rap battles, and maybe they'd let me in. So like I tried to do a rap battle without using the letter I, and that's what I tried to do with Definition. But I like.
Did it work?
No, because I was so into it, I got so obsessed with it, that I thought I'd be really clever, right? I had a line that was like, watch Grist bury 4 eyes throughout these bars, because he wears glasses, okay? No offense. But I was like, well, watch Grist bury 4 eyes throughout these bars, and that's a play on words. 4 eyes is kind of an old, kind of like derogatory term for someone with glasses. Added to that, I will bury 4 actual letter eyes within all the bars. So Grist was there, that's one of the eyes that's buried. And if you found throughout the whole battle, there was only going to be the word Grist, bodied, Definition. So first round I'd say the word Grist, second round bodied, third round Definition, the only times I used the letter I. Problem is, I got so absorbed in it and spent ages doing it, I didn't realise that like Definition had 3 eyes. So actually there were 5 eyes anyway, like I totally, so it didn't even work. I can't even watch the battle, because I know that I was slipping, was about to say something like, oh, hit you. Like I couldn't say I couldn't say like, it was really hard. It was an interesting experiment to see how things are constructed, but to try and say anything that makes sense and that's still insulting and still using wordplay without a vowel is really hard. So that was done. But he was very good. He was very good. I've got a guy in September called Nameless. He's a Canadian MC, and he'll be the best opponent I've had. Like that's the hardest. Like I think it's okay to lose that one. I think it's the first match I've probably had where like if I lose the match, it's totally fine.
Is that a Don't Flop one?
It will be with Don't Flop for their birthday event. And the thing is, last birthday event was when I faced Definition and I messed it up. So I'm very much like, this has to go right. But the birthday event's a very hostile environment. Like it really is like someone got punched out like at the last one, like during a battle. Like it's really angry. So like I have to be good, I have to be on it. And so I've got a match in 2 weeks in Denmark, and I've been rehearsing for that in the car. When I'm not listening to Little Dicky, I'm just going to like running my stuff in the car. And that's interesting because it's the first time I've had to think about international like opponents. Like you suddenly become more of a character. I've got to kind of like he will clearly come with British jokes. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know very much about him. Like if it's in the UK, you might kind of start to know a little bit about them, like the scene they mix in, and you might know someone that knows Invading. You might get some stories. You got nothing. And I don't even know how, like, everyone there, English is their second language, so whilst I believe their English is very good, I've got some lines that I've had to like just totally remove because I think I say the word accrue like in the first like section, which is just, I don't know if anyone will get that. I called him Jean-Luc Picard. I say he looks like Jean-Luc Picard at one point, Star Trek. And again, I had to spend a bit of time like, Star Trek, is it popular in Denmark? Like, you have to like check all these things. I had a bit when I said he looked like, he's quite short, and I say, oh, isn't he cute? He sits there at home with his little pen. It's like Mr. Small from the Mr. Man wanted to grow up just like 50 Cent. And I say that, and I'm like, wow, okay, and do they have the Mr. Men books? Are they called the Mr. Men books? Do they know 50 Cent? Because otherwise none of these will hit, and I won't get a reaction. If you get no reaction, then you die, like, it's bad, like it all fall apart. So, yeah.
How do you prepare?
A lot of people think that you make it up on the spot. Like I meet a lot of people a lot of the time who think, and if I did, like, I think, like, I would probably warrant some of the, like, some people react like I'm like ridiculously talented or something. When they see me, like, I know words. I get a month to prepare, so I spend a long time working on it. The battle that I've got in Denmark, I've probably spent the equivalent of 5 working days, 9 to 5. Refining that and honing that, like, and how to put it together, and put it together. Like, it's very much a written and rehearsed thing. What I'll do is I'll create blocks of material, and then I will go like, this is clearly like a first round material. Like, first round, you want to kind of, you've got to get. It's like a journey, right? You've got to get everybody on the bus. Like, if everyone's on your bus and laughing at the other person, then you're cool. If they're not on your bus, then it's not. So you don't know what they know about the other person. You don't know that they like, you know, stole money from their mum. You don't have to pay for drugs. Maybe you've got that, but that's not a good way to start out because no one can connect with it. Everyone knows what they look like. So it's a really good idea first round to start making fun of what they look like. So like in Denmark, I'll go like, hi, I'm Mark, I'm from the UK, I've been hired to let abuse rain on some guy who can't accrue pay who's in dire need of a toupee, because he's bald. So like that would be it. And then I just kind of, you know, I think I say like, I'm sure you managed to, I'm sure you found some words that rhyme, I'm sure you got some burner lines, but that hairdo's so much worse than mine, it's like your head's been circumcised. So I say that, and no matter, like, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone in the room can, like, it's true, we can see it, and they're on your bus. And then you can start moving into like, do you know what, and I saw your video, where you know, your shiny head on that video, which then is your link into the video, you can tell them about it, which then gets them all laughing. I find it a really interesting thing. It's very much like, how can I keep an audience more than them? Yeah. I think the winner of a rap battle isn't normally the person who's actually the most scary or the most like, I think it's genuinely, you win a rap battle if you're the person that most people would want to buy a pint for. I think that's how I put it. So the person at the end of the whole battle, everyone thinks like, if I was to buy him a pint, or do you know what I mean? Or I was to go and like pat him on the back, who would it be? And I think that's it. And I think that's the best way to play it.
You won more than you lost.
Yeah, but they don't get judged very much. I did a judged one against a guy called Zayn Azray. It's like it was a stitch up basically. Like, it's a really long story, but I beat him. Like, I definitely beat him. That's not just like he's really, really bad. The crowd boo at the decision at the end. It's a really weird moment in rap battle history, but I definitely beat him. It's the one thing that everyone wants to talk about because it's a real like kind of like stitch up moment that people get really angry about. But sorry, what was the question again? What am I saying?
You won more than you lost.
Yeah, but that since then, because it got like the backlash was so big on like the people who judged it because they judged it wrong. Like for about 6 months, pretty much, I think that was why no one would put me in for judged battles. I had quite a lot of following after the Blizzard map, so it became promo. And if I do like the battle I've got is in Denmark, it's at a music festival, so it's promo. I think if it's promo being unjudged and to be honest, it's more of a showcase. So there's less of it's less desperation to win.
Is that why the Scissors and Wizard one was unjudged?
Yes. Do you know what? I was annoyed about that because we wanted that to be judged.
I would have thought so, yeah.
We were really keen for that to be judged, but we turned up and we were told on the day that they'd requested it to be unjudged. And the issue you have is like it's actually quite cliquey to an extent. Like Mixie and I, who battled together,
yeah.
We're not really. We don't really support like every facet of like the culture. Like we're not totally like we think that we take it quite seriously and we think it's good. And there's a lot of guys we get on with well, but we're not really up for like the whole kind of geezer unit like.
There was a battle when we went to Don't Flop last weekend. Some of the earlier battles were really raw, and then it went on to one from two guys that hadn't battled for years, and it was a really cliquey thing, and all the jokes were so much in jokes. In the end, we were just like, oh, this is just like, I'm not getting this, and we just went out and had a drink.
Yeah. They had one that went up recently. A guy from Peterborough, a really good MC called Nathan One. He's a mate of mine. He went over to battle in the street, and he's not mates with them all, and he won his battle. But the guy, it was all his mates. They all judged it, and the judges all just took the mick out of his clothes and stuff. And you're like, what? I take it quite seriously. I think it's like anyone who'll stand up there and try and do it. I think it's really complicated, and I think it's a real art. Yeah. And I think that's the problem that I have with it. I see it. I take it seriously. I think it's like you prepare. It's like a game of chess. It's the closest someone with my physique can get to having a boxing match.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you go into a ring and you're like, there's no one to help you there. You just have your wits and your words and your time prepping and whatever you can do, and that's it. But the only problem is it is quite cliquey. And I think when decision went against me, it all got really volatile. I kind of just, I think for everyone it's just been unjudged. But I think when we had that one, again, we felt, to be honest with that doubles match, we felt like...
Hands down, it was no competition at all.
But
you were so much better rehearsed than them, and you had it like bouncing backwards and forwards.
But we felt when we were on the stage, we felt like we were losing because they were all like going nuts for everything they were saying.
Oh yeah, but they were just like all the cheap jibes, and there was just like no subtlety, no sophistication,
Yeah. So it's the way it goes. Like I think they don't really know what to make of us, but I know that the thing is I get more views because of the viral video and because of everything else, and so I'm kind of part of the world, but we don't. You probably won't ever see us like featured on the website or anything like that. We do things with them, and I do like Rowan, who runs the company. I think he's awesome, and the guys who run it, I think he's really.
He comes
amazing.
across as a really good bloke.
Yeah. Kruger, who's another guy, they're wicked guys, but I think there are like aspects of it. Like I'm going to pick up Spirit Sage on his constant talking about smoking weed. Because there's just something about it that I'm just like, I don't think it's not an essential component of rap battle. Like I don't see why sometimes Don't Flop had like a trailer vid to promote their stuff, and some guys just bragging about a little bag of weed that they got and all this, and I was like, why are we promoting drug use? Like I'm not being funny. Like, I don't have a problem with anyone doing whatever they want to do, but that's not what this is. Like you don't need.
It's not big and it's not clever.
To be a rap battler. Like, it's a totally different thing.
Yeah.
So I think I've got about 2 or 3 more battles and then I'm done. Like and then I think that's it. But I'm more and more I'm getting kind of asked to do like novelty things. I was asked to do you know the comedian, really thin, quite posh comedian with a little goatee beard.
Quite young.
Quite camp. Yes, we're supposed to have a rap battle with him, like for comic relief, and like they told me that I had to do that like in about a week, and I started like prepping for that, and I was like, rap. I was in Great Yarmouth at the time writing poems for kids about pirates for this museum. I was like, well, so we got to prep for that. What turned up at the event, and he bottled it on the battle. He wouldn't do the battle, and I had all the stuff prepped. And Mixie had to come in and do it. And so the thing is, like, he was cool afterwards. I think he felt a bit bad about it all. But we had a chat afterwards, it was alright. But I think I'm doing more and more stuff at the moment that's kind of mixing with, on the edge of that kind of world. And I think I'd probably move out of the kind of raw stuff and maybe into kind of, an item on Nevermind the Buzzcocks being me having a rap battle with some guy. They wanted me to have a rap battle with Chesney Hawkes. You guys probably won't know, but yeah.
Amazing.
He is cool. Like, the one and only.
At one point, they were still doing that. So we'll just see what happens. Like it's.
I'm gonna have to call time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.